Okay, folks, we're going to make another grilled chicken salad. This time it's going to be chicken tenders, which would take no time, so this is a very fast one-pan dish. What makes it Lebanese inspired, because it's a Lebanese inspired, is that we use baharat. And baharat just means spice, I'm told, but it also really means seven spice specifically, which is used in Lebanese cuisine. And luckily, we have I have all seven spices, and they are all 1 to 1 to 1 ratio, which is a little unusual because some of these are very pungent. So I'm going to use cumin, one teaspoon of cumin, these are all ground, 1 teaspoon of coriander ground. It's not the same as if you are using, if you're crushing coriander. It's just not the same. Okay, maybe I have a little more here, like that. 1 of cloves. You see that most bakers don't use, and if you're making pumpkin pie, you don't use a whole. That's very pungent. So we'll make 1 of cloves. I did cumin, I did coriander. I should be oh, and allspice is also very pungent. We're going to do 1 of those. 1 teaspoon. Got it right? And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. I think I have it. How many is that? Spices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so the final one is white pepper. Now white pepper is great because you can use it in purees without there being black specks in it and look like, I don't know, bugs or something. But the fact is, white pepper is stronger than black pepper in flavor. And I noticed that the ladies, all the Dutch ladies who live in the region, come searching. When I worked at Cook's Corner, they came searching for white pepper because that's all they use. They don't use black pepper. And I don't know why exactly. That's just a cultural thing. But all those ladies moved here after the war. And so I'm just mixing it up. And this can be stored, sealed, for several months. And I won't actually need very much. That's really interesting. Okay, that's good. So for the chicken here, I want to get my other ingredients going here. I prefer to have just one Asian, the light purple ones, the long ones that look like zucchinis, eggplant. And I don't have that available to me, so I'm just going to cut this into, I'm just going to pretend that this Italian style eggplant is like 1 or 2, I say 1 or 2 of like the Asian one, and cut it quite thickly because we're going to grill it. So there's that, and there's this. I'll chop the other one, so I just have 4 pieces. And the rest I'll save for a ratatouille or something. I don't know, this one doesn't look, that one's not thick enough. Let's try to get them half an inch. That's almost a whole inch. This one's not thick enough. So I'm going to, I have the Bounty here. So let's make it a thicker one because we're grilling. That takes a toll. Okay, so we're going to have 4 slices as if we had 2 Asian eggplants. I have 4 slices, and this needs to be oiled before it turns brown. And then I'm going to show you a trick about cherry tomatoes. And the whole thing goes really quickly, so there won't be a lot of time to talk or take videos. Okay, lovely. So I have chicken tenders that come directly from the grocery store. I didn't bother cutting up my own, but they're basically white meat, breast meat, or they could actually be partially part of the tenderloin of chicken breasts. So I have about a pound here, might be more than you need. I just want to get them into a bowl. And by the way, these are room temperature. I was careful to leave them out only enough time to get to room temperature because so that they will cook evenly. And I'm using these tongs for the meat, and I'll use different tongs for the vegetables. So, because it's raw, So, you know the drill. So, I only need 3/4. You know what? I'm going to use a whole teaspoon of the 7 spice, the Lebanese 7 spice we made. And we're going to put that in here. And we're going to add a little more pepper. And you'll recall there's no salt in the mix. So we're going to add some salt. Not too much. That's almost too much. I threw whatever was in my fingers out. And we're just going to stir this together. And it's not going to sit for very long. Just long enough to get coated. We don't want to have our raw chicken sitting around. I just want to show you also a little trick. So that can be set aside. Also, we at this point you can season the eggplants, salt and pepper, and they've soaked up a lot of oil, so I'm going to add some more. You could grill the chicken and the olive. Why do I keep calling it olive? It's eggplants. You could grill this together, but I don't have even heat. I have a large surface here for the meat, and I have this tiny little surface here that ends here. So I'm going to start with the meat and let it, and I guess I'm almost out of that. And I'm going to let both of them, I'm going to let the meat rest before I grill the eggplant. But I want to show you a little trick on how to slice your tomatoes in half. These are cherry tomatoes on the vine. Looks really good. I'm quite happy with those. It's time, it's that season. I don't know how many there are. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, there's 10. So, you can use a lid of any container like this and press down, and then press down on them and then cut through the middle, and you will have cut all 10 in half in one go. Voila! So you have that done. Took no time. I'm going to use this salad bowl, and I'm going to add baby arugula and baby spinach. I like the combo because I just like it. If you have just baby arugula, you have just the peppery taste, which is fine. But if you had baby spinach, you have a little more texture, which I quite like. And I'm putting it in the bowl now because I have to put these halved tomatoes in something. May as well put it in the salad right away. And that way you don't have to use another bowl. Okay, so that goes aside. And then we're going to, I gotta wash up here. We're going to spray the grill. And we're going to, if I can find the spray, we're going to spray the grill. And we're going to heat it up. So remember, my surface for cooking is really only this big. So I'm only going to spray it with the special grilling oil in that section. And meanwhile, I guess I'm just going to wipe this down a bit. I'm going to carve up a good sized lemon because that's going to be juice for the final. So I think I'm going to save some for wedges like that. And then these are going to be juiced. But I have another one in case I want more juice. But I don't think I'll need more juice. Anyway, that's just thinking aloud. Meanwhile, I'm going to cover up my baharat, and save that for future use. And I'm going to keep my pepper out for seasoning at the end. And I'll see you at the next phase, which should take, I don't know, 10 minutes. Hey folks, so we're getting ready to grill our chicken tenders, which have been sitting with the 7-spice and olive oil. We have our grill up. I put some water on to see if it's sizzling. And we're going to add the chicken tenders. Like I said, they were, had brought them to room temperature for around 45 minutes. So they should cook very evenly. And they should only take, I'd say 2 minutes on one side and 1 minute on the other, because they are rather thin. I bought these straight from the grocery store. I didn't cut them myself, which would also probably be more economical, but they happen to be there. And so they have this seasoning. And as my grill is on the stove top, I have one big area that gets hot, but there's only a small area at the back on the upper right that gets hot. So I'm only using the front. And that's why I'm kind of bunching them in there. I'm not worried that they're going to produce moisture by being so close, because this is quite hot. I'm not trying to sear the hang out of these things. I am just trying to get them cooked, get the grill marks, on one side. Throwing out that dish with the raw meat in it. And then while I'm throwing it out, just put it in the sink. So see, my area here is just like the size of a large stock pot. So I'm just going to deal with that, and I'm using that area. You could actually grill together the chicken tenders and the eggplant at the same time, because they take around the same time to cook. See, there's a little bit of light color around the edges. I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes. Light color doesn't mean done, it just means they're getting there. And as usual, I'm only turning once. Once the grill releases the chicken, it's ready to turn. If it sticks, it's not ready to turn. That's a great rule of thumb. Anyway, so yeah, 2 minutes for there. I said if I had more room, if the heat was even all around, I would grill the eggplant at the same amount of time because they're cut, I'd say 3/4 inches thick, and they will also take 2 minutes on one side. I have and 1 minute on the other. I have the foil ready for tenting, and juices will be released, and we'll be using those juices. There's really that way, the resting period will be just enough to cook the eggplant. So I'm gonna just check with my trusty tongs. That one comes off nicely, but the grill mark's not quite there. Just gotta wait for the timer, but and don't bother checking too much. Don't flip them around. You lose track of what you're doing, and then you won't know which ones are cooked more than the others. Also note that some are thinner than the others because they're just bought them store-bought. Even if you cut them yourselves, they would be, some would be thinner than others. Okay, so let's do a little. Okay, so that's ready. Beautiful grill mark. Gorgeous. Love it. They all look pretty close. I do the thinner ones first. Flipping the thinner ones first. And get the timer going for 1 more minute. It just helps me. It's hard to gauge time when you're videoing, and it's hard enough to gauge time when you're not videoing. So I like to use the timer to help me out just as a kind of guideline. So now we all have them turned, and we're going to wait to get them cooked through. Should be about a minute. There's going to be char marks. It's going to be beautiful. They're going to be succulent. They're going to be juicy. And now it's just time to be patient. I have my foil. I got my new clean plate waiting. And I have my eggplants. Slices that have been seasoned with salt and pepper. And they've soaked in quite a bit of oil, which is fine. A minute goes pretty quickly. Let's just get a look at it. Okay, that's pretty done. The thinner ones look quite good. We'll just see. They shouldn't stick at this point. And take off the smaller ones so they don't overcook. I'm gonna just do there. The timer just went. So yeah, time to take off any that I'm just checking when I open that it's not pink. If it's pink, you're really almost there, but you're not actually there, and you don't want to serve pink chicken to people, but you do want to serve succulent chicken. So, it takes some practice. All of these look pretty good. I'm going to take them all off now, except for the big fat one. That's the fat one. It looks not, it's almost twice as thick as the others. So we'll leave that on. And here we go. These are all going to rest. I'm going to tent them. Perfect. The aroma's beautiful. It's very unusual with this the Lebanese seven spice. And while that one's going, I can get ready and add the eggplant. I have a strange tick. I can't remember the word eggplant for some reason. I just keep pausing because I can't remember the word eggplant. Maybe it's because I don't use it very often. But it will be good in this dish. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that piece is cooked, and we're going to use this area of the grill for the eggplant. And it must be cooked by now. I don't see how it couldn't be. It's good. It's good. It's going under the foil. It's going to be resting, and those juices are important. They're part of the. I mean, they make in almost every dish. The roasting juices are the juices that come out of resting meat are always spectacular and make a really important addition to any dish. This will be part of the dressing because I'm not making standard dressing for this. It'll be meat juice, um, juices from the eggplant, some lemon, some oil, salt and pepper, and it will all be done on the salad, so you're not actually making a real dressing. It's unnecessary for this dish. So here we are. That was I cooked 2 minutes on one side and 1 minute on the other, and they have beautiful texture. See, when you lift them up, they're kind of floppy. That means they're cooked, but they're al dente. They'll have a little bit of a bite, good mouth feel, and they have beautiful char marks. So yeah, they cooked on one side for 2 minutes, turned the heat off, and one side for 1 minute, and they're done. Now, I had put the base of the arugula and the sliced cherry tomatoes in the bowl, and here I'm going to cut up the eggplant into slices or chunks the size of the meat. I want them to be similar, so in size, and also in shape. I'm cutting them kind of on a diagonal so that they kind of end up on your plate. You'll have the tenders and the eggplant that will be similar in size, and that'll be good. Now I'm seasoning my salad base because I didn't season the arugula and baby arugula and baby spinach. I didn't season the tomatoes, and they love salt. Makes the flavor come out wonderfully. So now we have that as the base. I'm just going to place the sliced grilled eggplant on top and kind of arrange it nicely. Yeah, and then it looks quite spectacular already without even the chicken. Now we're going to add the chicken tenders and oh no, I don't know I guess I'm going to start crumbling some feta. Yeah, I'm going to take a slice and crumble that up. Put it over the salad. Here's the meat. I needed that juice. That makes everything better. So I really like it. And it adds an immense amount of flavor. I'd like to stir it up a bit, mix it up a bit so that the greens and the everything gets a little bit of that meat juice on it. Tomatoes, eggplant, etc., etc. Yeah, and it's looking good. Now it's time to get out. Yeah, it looks good. So I'm going to get the feta, make a good slice, and then crumble it over. Here's the lemon that's going to be part of the mix of the flavors. That'll become a kind of ad hoc dressing. And I want to add the oil, which becomes part of the ad hoc dressing. And it's all been seasoned already. Don't have to worry about that. There, done. Perfect. It already smells amazing, and there's a great amount of uh, aroma, and it's a beautiful mixture. And the chicken's still hot, so that's a bonus also. Basically, I see there's no feta anymore. I went to the bottom, so I'm crumbling more on top, so people, so they don't have to like look for it. And yeah, so basically we're done.